Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to the Pain Clinic for November 22nd. Just a few holidays today, and I think you see a special guest here with me. We'll introduce him in just a second. It's Adoption Day, Go for a Ride Day, and Love Your Freckles Day. Man, who doesn't love freckles? How about you, Murphy? Like freckles?
Freckles was my babysitter when I was a kid.
All right, little onion on your freckles makes them go away. I think that's what Jan Brady said. All right, all right. Birthdays today. Elias is 38, or whatever his name is now. The guy you walk with, WWE walk with. Never mind. Hey, interested in roller derby? You want to be a skater, officiate Rock City Roller Derby? Needs you. Contact recruitment at rockderbyrecruitment@gmail.com and join Rock City Roller Derby Fear, the men's team, Flower City Fear, FLOUR, flowercityfear.com. Welcome to the show. You can probably already tell from the beginning of the show that, yes, I am the Cash Man. I'm your humble host. I'm here with Jeff Murphy joins us. How you doing? It says ask your mother. It's like, can Jeff Murphy please join the Pain Clinic?
Yeah, that's it. It's like when you get a call when you're a kid. Now that's the thing. Nobody answers the phone anymore. But do you remember when you were a kid and they'd say, "Is your mother there?"
Yeah.
Or if you were a guy with a high voice, they'd ask you that, and you'd hang up the phone and shriek like nails when Vince McMahon and him got in trouble. But no, it's wonderful to be here on a Saturday morning, and it's a exciting time in the world, exciting time in wrestling, and we should all be thankful.
Yeah, and that's right. It's a thankful week, isn't it? For all those, that certain holidays up this week. But I mean, I'm certainly thankful for Go for a Ride Day as well as Love Your Freckles Day and Adoption Day. So,
well, I remember I had a adopted brother who had freckles, and whenever my mom would make my dad take me for a ride, they got punished. So,
eek.
Yeah, all three of those tie into one, I suppose, if you're creative enough. What? So, like, you always have these holidays. Like, have you ever gotten one and you're like, wait a minute, I can't. Like, it's you just turn into Casey Case. I'm like, you expect me to read a dedication to a dead dog? Like, has there been a day like, build a fort in your bathroom day or something where you're just like, no way?
There's Dutch Oven Day, but I don't know about
Well, that can be every day depending on what you eat. But,
woohoo! Yeah, that's right. If you're a broccoli fan, it's definitely in your plans. So welcome. Yeah. Well, Murph, it's great to see you. I wanted to mention that before we get into anything, we got a lot of things to talk about. But last week technically was the 27th birthday of the Pain Clinic.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. That's what. In 27 years.
Where does the time go? Did you like for the sake of it being 27 years, did you like look back at like that day and see like who was champion? And I mean, WCW was still running because that would have been 98, right?
Yeah, I think it was November 14th, 1998 was the official quote unquote official day, I believe. So I think it was Shawn Michaels. I know it was in the era of Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was in WWE. It was a bit different back then, that's for sure. But
would that have been 1 year post screw job? That would have been about 1 year post screw job.
I think the screw job is kind of why we started doing the show, because it was like, we would argue about it, as friends talking about wrestling, while we were up on Saturday morning doing soccer talk, we would argue about it. So it kind of like led, it's like, Bret Hart's going down to WCW to bankrupt him. Some certain doctor guy who used to be on the show used to insist upon that,
he also insisted upon you body slamming somebody you love. So you got to take his prescriptions with a grain of salt, I suppose. But no, that's a great thing. Do you remember the first show? Like, do you remember piping it up and like getting everything together?
The very first show I just board opped it and worked the mic. I didn't have to do any of like the legwork, like getting the news or anything. So I did, though, the week before we started, but Bill Goldberg was in town. He was at the Holiday Inn, and we went and got a few minutes with him to talk with him about, he was champ at the time. It was like the weekend before Halloween Havoc, where he took on DDP, or maybe it was the weekend after. I think it was the weekend after that. So, but so we were going out and prepping for our first show to have Bill Goldberg, and we did. We ran the interview. and we got to meet him and stuff like that. But we had some other. I mean, but I just remember the hype to it. It was like, yeah, this sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, we're talking about a predetermined sport. So we played on like all the storylines and stuff. So it was, but I do remember it very well because because like a week before we started, our sponsor decided to put a commercial out with our phone number to the studio. Give us a call, talk to your favorite wrestler. That was like the line in the commercial. And that line, and then so they were calling the hockey show, asking for their favorite wrestler. They were calling every show on the station. Anytime that commercial showed up, there's 6-year-old kids on the phone. Is Stone Cold Steve Austin there?
They're like, listen, kid, unless your favorite wrestler is Craig Shaler, you're not talking to your favorite wrestler.
It was Dr. Love, though. I mean, he obviously could have been the favorite wrestler. So, yeah. So it was. So that I remember that, and so we started. And I mean, the phones were exploding the first day. I mean, we only had 3 lines coming in. As soon as one hung up, another one was lit. So it was like it was really cool. We got and we really didn't talk that much wrestling, but we did argue about WCW versus WWE. This is even like a couple weeks before even the Authority joined the show. It was Dr. Love, Mad Dog, and me, and then Danger Boy was our phone screener then. So that was the setup, and it like blew the circuits out in the phone. I mean, it definitely opened the eyes of the people that were running the station. That, oh my God, this might be something,
Yeah, this wrestling's quite like Danger Boy was with one of those things like, Sarah, get me Octor 7, and he's like switching cables.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that, Danger Boy?
He actually had to hold up names who were on the phone through a big glass window so we could see who was on what line number, And
wow.
he was screening in the next room. So it was very interesting. It was I did fun memories, man. That's for sure. That was Midtown Plaza. That's when, we were in the production studio in Midtown Plaza, so yeah, some fun. Yeah. So Murph, how about some of your fond memories from the times, we were doing this thing?
Oh man, like there were so many. I'd say probably when we went out and would mix. TNA was really good to us.
Yeah.
Not that everybody else wasn't, but we'd go out and we'd see Jeremy Borash and Craig Jenkins, the Jenks man.
James.
What Tiger? Get me the white. No, it wasn't the White Claw yet. It was Coors Light. You had to see the mountains on the beer.
Yeah.
Just traveling around and going to the shows and hanging out. And some of the callers, like we were talking earlier, and there, but by the grace of God, there's not a phone connection here. They'd start calling in, but Buddy,
Mr. Philexis.
Mr. Philexis. I remember my favorite, and I'll keep it as clean as possible. My favorite thing that I was ever privy to in radio was Philexis called Bob Matthews' show when Brett Favre had sent a very unique picture of Richard to that young lady, Jen Sturger, who worked for AEW for a while.
Yeah.
And Philexis called up Bob Matthews and goes, Bob, Brett Favre mailed his private parts to a lady. And like Bob hadn't heard the story yet. He's like, get off my phone, Mr. Philexis, because it just sounded like, Edgar Allan Poe with his ear in a box. But
yeah, some crazy stuff. And well, we had those batch of crazy callers. So
yeah, and then just the one time Buddy called in like AWA was live, and he's like, Kurt Henning's back, and they're calling him Cool Kurt. And like we all about died in the studio. Just but it's still real to him. It's
the magic of tape.
Yeah, that's it. He's like, oh, you should have seen all the fans. Do you remember when AWA went to that thing where they just had like the litho of the fans behind them, and they're like, and it was just like if you went into one of those boxes at the fair where you looked like you were really tall or really short, they were over them with that. Man, AWA. But yeah, no, it's so many fond memories, and just an entree into the world of iHeart, Clear Channel, the rest, and just haven't had a public forum to do this yet. But Brother Weeze, happy retirement.
He said he's going to say something in January. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I saw him, but I just wanted, because again, it started here and then kind of ended. I don't know. It's like pro wrestling. Never say never. I might be doing Tradio next week. I'll have to. I'll have to knock Dan Cole. Dan Cole is the one guy we know that actually did Tradio.
Yeah, every day,
Tradio.
every
Yeah.
day. He had Trady like an hour of, okay, I've got some sheets there are still, you know,
Yeah, I've got Bobby
ignore the
Boucher's.
brown stains on them, but
Yeah, exactly. He's a well hydrated boy. Tradio. 222
oh my God, Don and Mike used to bust on Tradio so much.
Oh man, Tradio was, and then man on man sausage. Charles Mann and his sausage business.
Oh my goodness. Hello. Hey, welcome to the show. We're here to talk. We're going to talk wrestling. We are going to get to it.
Oh yeah.
We got Full Gear this weekend. We definitely want to talk a little bit about Full Gear, talk a little bit about JC. Now, you know, he's our savior. Oh, no, not that JC, John Cena.
Yeah.
Who's that the clock is ticking down, and some other things going on. There's some news here and there. There's shows coming up, but before I get to it, I want to jump right into John Cena first because why not? You know, I mean, a man who I detested for many, 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 many years, and now I can't get enough because I think it's the end, you know, and it's like, but man, Murph, what do you think? Is it the end? I mean, how can someone say they're never going to do this again? You know, how many times have we heard that from people? I mean, John is successful in other places, you know, he's Peacemaker, other things. He's been doing movies. By the way, what was that one movie I loved where he stuck the hose up his butt and drank the beer?
Was that the one where he dressed like Britney Spears? Oh no, the what was it? Vacation Friends?
I can't remember what it was. It was like a bunch of parents that were spying on their kids on prom night.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's he's a talented guy, and he's branching out. But it's like, and of course you go back to Terry Funk forever. But like even The Rock was the biggest, by those weird metrics, like Samuel L. Jackson's the biggest box office star in the world because he was in Star Wars for 5 minutes and this for 5 minutes and that for 5 minutes. But there comes a time in every boy's life where there comes a time where you're gonna have to come back to promote something. And what is Cena? 50? Is he
48? He's 48.
Yeah. So I mean, like it's kind of ceremonial, and I feel like it's a little bit prepackaged anyways, because wasn't he off for like a year before he came back and did this retirement tour?
At least, I mean, he we have seen him very sparingly in the last like 5 years. So
yeah, so it's like, oh, better. It's like when your favorite player's been off for 2 years and they sign a 1-day contract with their original team. It's like, oh, I'm here to retire a Bronco, and it's like, yeah, you haven't played in 3 years, but I'm not mad at it. Like, I guess just like everybody else, that heel turn was kind of clunky, to say the least. Like,
bad idea, we'll say.
Yeah, well, and I think it was also one of those things like, oh, check the box, now you can, it's your last year and you'll still sell the merch and blah blah blah. And to his credit, like, I feel like, that blackout John Cena generic entrance at WrestleMania, I thought that was incredible. There have been some good matches. Obviously gets laid waste by Brock in the middle, so it doesn't have to be close to the end. And I guess
you must have seen the AJ Styles match then, right? Where they
yeah. Oh yeah. And that was cool. And John's into that because it goes back to like the Bray Wyatt, like, Twilight Zone match that they had. So it's some of it's been great, but I just think that's a couple of the prongs, like will he be back? The Rock came back, although I guess he never really retired. And B, I don't know. But I will say one thing: this whole idea that, like, well, they're gonna have Edge or Jericho or somebody at the end. No, knowing John Cena and how dogmatic he is, and like, if you remember that episode of like, Hey, It's the Bellas, where he's like, 6:15 we have a cigar, 6:30 we have a sandwich, 7:30. Like, he wants to have some young guy lose, or win.
Yeah.
I heard some crazy theory this week that Mark Henry said Joe Hendry. Yes, said Joe Hendry should come out after the last match.
Don't say his name. He might appear.
Oh yeah, no. Well, if he brings Theo with him, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting. Like, I posed that it should be Tiffy time. Like, my time is up. Your Tiffy time's now. Like, I'd lay down for Tiffy. Why not?
Certainly. I've heard rumors that and I think I talked about it last week a little bit, but he's kind of dictating the final Saturday night main event that he's going to be wrestling on, and he said that he wants NXT wrestlers there to take on main event wrestlers to maybe get them over a little bit. So he's kind of like his gift to the next era of wrestling is to give him some but Peacock that's the only way you can see it is on Peacock. So it's a streaming service. You're not on NBC anymore. It's like, which is, there's some people that are upset about that because Peacock costs money, and it's like when it was $5, it was great when it was WWE stuff, but WWE left and now it's like the minimum is like $9 or something. I can't remember. It's just, it's another app, you got to have Netflix, you got to have Peacock, you got to have now ESPN Plus, which, or whatever it is, ESPN Unlimited. That's it. Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of, none of it is net free TV. No, absolutely none of it. So it's the first time that they've actually actually even USA is not free TV. So since they went off of Fox, there's no way if you don't have cable or a streaming service, you can watch WWE.
Yeah, and I think somebody did the cost analysis of being besides the great idea of WrestlePalooza being the most revolutionary thing ever and blah blah blah. Mark Shapiro, like, I don't know. I've heard enough about Mark Shapiro to last me 6 lifetimes now, especially with all this ticket. Like, have you guys talked about, have you priced, because they're apparently going to do this house show run around the holidays. Do we have an idea what the tickets cost here?
Yeah,
here in Rochester, New York.
The worst seats here in town are $56.
Bro,
those are the worst seats. Those, yeah.
Wasn't it $10 bring a VAT like for the worst seats the last time?
I'm hoping there's like a Groupon that the week before, because you look after I've gone and I actually posted it a couple weeks ago on the Facebook page of all the empty spots that are at this show, because man, who can afford that? It's like, that's another thing is TKO, I'm glad you're with me and you brought that up, because TKO, it's like, we should have been charging a lot more from a long time ago. And Vince McMahon, it's Vince McMahon. That's one good thing about Vince McMahon. If anything, there's a lot of good things to say about him, a lot of bad things as well. But one thing is he made it affordable for families, or he tried to keep it affordable for families. TKO doesn't care.
No.
They don't.
Well, obviously, in Rochester, I was sitting with the Stoneyard guys, and in Toronto, you guys got passes. But like, I don't remember what they were charging for UFC tickets when they came through, but I don't imagine it was that much. Like, it's just, you're kind of, and I understand you want O'Shea Jackson and Andrew Schultz and Cam Skattebo, which isn't a Skattebo, one of those little dolls that the girls all have tagged on their backpacks now that look like a troll?
Say seriously. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, it's my Skattebo.
It's either that or something you stepped in,
Yeah, right. You stepped in some scat, boo. Back when everybody called their significant other boo, which was creepy. It made my skin go, hey, boo.
Yeah, if you not know what we're talking about, Monday Night Raw, obviously these guys showed up. I have to go, and that's another thing. You notice that since TKO took over, that every famous person in the crowd's got to get on TV like they do in UFC. It's like Ronda Rousey. Yeah, remember they brought her out to sit in the seats long enough to take her back after they did the camera shot on her.
Well, it's very much like, it's like the beginning of the Love Boat, which is even older than me, but like where they just flash through the stars. It's like Ray Don Chong, Charo, and don't forget,
people you don't know, people that TKO is interested in, like those bull riders,
yeah,
all those people,
and it's like you can try to cross promote everything. It's like, Pepsi owns Lipton, but they don't put like the creamy cheese sauce that you put on your chicken with the Pepsi. You know what I mean? It's like there's lanes.
Good God.
What was your
Skattebo, and showing all the people in the crowd,
showing all the people in the crowd. And it's like, bro, I'm dying to go to this house show and maybe, even like you say, if there's a group on, maybe we can get everybody together and go.
I would love to too. Yeah.
We had so many good times, like Steven Cena. You remember that with John? He's like, I haven't seen my brother in a long time, but tonight we're going to have dinner and hang out, because he was estranged from I don't think I'm talking out of school, but like.
No, you're certainly not. Yeah. John Cena's brother obviously lives here in town, still lives here in town.
Yeah. Steven, nice guy. But it's just, I don't know. And it's like, it's funny because you mentioned Goldberg doing the on sale here. Like, did you hear about the whole thing with him at the big event?
I saw that he had a private signing and walked out or something.
Yeah, and it's like just everything. Like, you see, people will post on the socials. I get on MySpace, I'm with it. I'm doing the Macarena for the people at home, but it's like meet Jey Uso for 13 seconds for $900 and buy a shirt from Fanatics. Like what? Like I don't know. They're very much monetizing something that when I was a kid, I could go if Barnum and Bailey were in town, or if the WWF, WWF, whatever, I knew I could go because my folks could afford. My dad was a roofer. My mom was a registered nurse at the VA.
Yeah.
And we could afford that. And now this whole, what you're going to get Rochester's Elite. Who is Rochester's Elite? It's like a Jeopardy question. Like, who are you expecting you're going to bring everybody in from Fairport? Like, I remember the best thing was meeting kids like, oh man, I came over on the bus with my dad and like got autographs in the back and went inside. And I don't know.
Yeah, no, and there's I remember all the cats that used to do that and never come into the show too,
me and Joe C for a long time.
I was gonna say there's still, I mean, the setup is the same. I'm guessing when they're in town, was it the 28th? If you want to get your autographs, man, hang out there because that's I've seen some fun stuff with wrestlers there, like Chris Jericho teasing the audience because he was a bad guy and he kept slowing down, and then he opened the window and then people would run up to it and then he'd take off, and
oh yeah, well, and but you got the Undertaker telling you everything but his blood type nowadays. I remember they walked him out that gym with the backwards leather Kangol as personal security. He's like, don't take any pictures. Undertaker will sign 5 autographs, and then he got in a car and left. But not to bounce around too much, but are you hip to this whole thing? Speaking of the big event where the kid photoshopped himself making out with AJ Lee.
Yeah, and she kind of like blew a nut over it, yeah.
Well, do you remember, like, we had a good run of success. I got real pictures of ODB, Tracy Brooks, Amazing Kong, like just snuggling. Like a couple of them, I think ODB kissed me on the cheek, and I'm just thinking, like, what kind of weirdo are you to like do a AI rendering of you making out? And he's dressed like CM Punk and has some of CM Punk. Like, that guy should be on a watch list.
Probably is now, I'm guessing, after the hell that was brought up over that. But yeah, so you know what? I'm off that week, by the way, when they come to town. So I plan. I mean, I was thinking if the tickets do drop price, without a doubt, I want to go. I definitely want to, because they haven't been to Rochester and it's been a couple of years now. So
well, and this is probably the model, like, oh, Christmas time, let's gear up and do a little house show run. And then
they always used to do the New York run in Christmas. I remember they always would come between Christmas and New Year's, and they would do. I remember that's where we met. That's when the guys were down at the bar, the Dinosaur and stuff. Yeah. More than a couple of times. I remember going there and meeting Randy Orton and freaking Umaga and giving him a bunch of Pain Clinic shirts, because he's like, I don't have a lot of clothes my size, and it's like, here, Umaga, I've got some 4Xs for you.
Yeah,
like he was very happy about that.
That's so true. But yeah, between us and MSG, like they would run New York State. You remember, me, you, and Josie went to the Carrier Dome and saw Sheamus Cena, which is timely because they just had their whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. And then it's like, man, it was like the biggest crowd I've ever been in for wrestling. So that was pretty crazy. Good, some good times. So Cena is on his way out. It's a shame, and I guess it's a good thing, and it's a shame. But this big Madison Square Garden's kickoff apparently had a lot of famous people in the crowd this past Monday night. But one that didn't show was Shane McMahon. He was there. Apparently, unless you were like in business with doing them in business or something, like Stephanie was shown because she does a podcast, which, wow. Remember when WWE was so anti-podcast?
Yeah.
They didn't, we don't want it. That's lower. That's a lower level of entertainment. Nobody really does those things. Follow. Yeah. Right. And now that's all they do is go to podcasts,
Well, right. And that's the thing. You think about the early adopters, like, Austin and Jericho, and it does work. Because, man, I was just thinking about that the other day, because in my feed on YouTube, I'll get these shorts or these like cutouts from interviews. Like there was one from Elix Skipper, if that name rings a bell to anybody. Prime time, baby. Bam, 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 bam.
And it jumped off the top of the cage. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that was his big.
You see highlights of TNA, it's always in there. They'll work it in. Elix Skipper doing that Hurricane Rana off the top of the cage,
Yeah, and it used to be like you wouldn't even get that. Like shoot interviews were the thing. Now it's like guys like Chris Van Vliet do those things twice a week. You hear everything from everybody 4 times, and it used to be you'd have to buy a shoot interview. But I think that's probably the view they had of it. Oh, these dirt sheet shoot interviews, and Rob Feinstein somewhere like on MySpace getting a date, or whatever. And it's
Chris Harrison, who's that?
well, I was listening to somebody's talk about something. They're like, oh, the Undertakers, they actually can put clips in, and it's like an ESPN or a TSN, if you're listening in Canada, production now, where it's like, hey, Michelle, do you remember that time where I tickled Rikishi Fatu and he fell in all that hay? And it's like Family Guy. It goes to a cutaway of that and they talk over it, and it's something else. But yeah, Stephanie, oh my God, man. Like there have been some people on this Stephanie McMahon thing where I'm like, maybe I can watch it, but I'm like, for me, and I'm sure she's nice. And if you want to give me a job, Stephanie, that's fine. But like she just seems like a soccer mom who like insists on meeting her kids' friends, and they're like, so I hear you like Mountain Dew and Lafofos or whatever those little trolls are. And it's like, yeah, I do. What about it, ma'am? Do you have Mountain Dew and Lafofos for me? And the answer is usually no. But she just reminds me, like her interview style, I feel like would be so wooden and like so bleh, that
I think she's just like running out of things to do, and that's the last thing. It's like I get, and the thing is, she was head of creative, so everybody that she's talked to from the WWE, she's had some sort of influence in their career on TV.
Has she had Heyman on? Because like she's fired and hired him.
Yeah, he's the guy that they had. I don't even know if that was legit or not, a bad relationship, but they were not fond of each other when she was head of creative. I heard that he had he had ideas and he'd get mad because she wouldn't give him 2 cents.
Well, and like there was something like he was like Homer, the original work from home guy. Like he was signed in and he had a bird hitting the thing to sound like he was there talking, but he was like signed into a conference. It was like the Jeffrey Tubin thing, which is a real deep cut, but don't look that up. Look it up. But no, he was like on a conference call and they're like, right, Paul? And he's like, that's right, Stephanie. And he'd just go back to shuffling his baseball cards or something. But
he's playing solitaire.
He's over there. He's like a skeleton with a beard. Like, they always find a guy in a room on the movies.
Yeah. So I've not really seen too much of Stephanie's stuff, but it's just so funny how podcast they were for such a long time, and now everybody's doing one. And you're right, it was Austin and Jericho who really kind of broke that. And then remember that I brought this up a couple weeks ago. Remember the days when WWE used to actually have like news on the WWE website from other companies and and stuff. That's when they were trying to show, hey, we're just as cool as all these people getting 100 million hits. We can do that stuff too.
We're your Yahoo, baby. I'm your Huckleberry. I'm your Yahoo. But no, that was the it's so funny because I fell into a Danny Doring wormhole the other night and I looked on his Wikipedia and it was like in 2006 it was announced via WWE's dirt sheet portion of their webpage. And it's funny that you just brought that up. Like he got announced as being signed in that strip, which was probably just auto-populated from Wrestling Inc. or Bob Ryder's.
Oh yeah, definitely. They've only had one person hired to just repost things like that. I'm guessing. But
that's like also when Hunter's like, yeah, we're gonna sign Seth Rollins and John. Like he went because it was always like, Brody was on. He talked about. He's like, well, until they find that right 34-year-old, they didn't want guys in their early 30s that worked the indies. And now, like all your top guys right now are those guys.
We had Brody in studio with us, and we asked him about that because we knew he was around that age, and he said that's not true. They were gonna hire him, and it was before he was even hired and sent to the. Where did he go? OVW first, and then down
to FCW.
FCW. Yeah. So he didn't start up in Ohio like a lot of the guys and then moved down to Florida. He was that. Yeah. So, but yeah, he had told us, he goes, listen, that's not true because they're talking with me. So it's like, okay, I get it. Yeah.
They're like, you can be a rad dude and a dirty wife beater with a bald spot and still get hired. And you know what? He's one of those guys that carried his original gimmick with him in there. Like he was dressed how he was always dressed, like his big rig and all that. And that was one of those cool footnotes. But I guess it fit the swamp people, Florida, like you ain't from around here, boy, kind of look.
I've always wanted to ask him if he like went and bought like tank tops and then rubbed them in the dirt out in the yard before putting them on.
He just put him on Hornswoggle, and then Hornswoggle would go under the ring and it'd come back out really dirty.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, get over here, Hornswoggle. Do you remember like that's another fun memory. You remember when it's funny because there's Tiffy Time, but there was Tiffany, our Tiffany from
Oh, yes.
the Divas Surge. Yeah. And I feel like she was riding with Colin Delaney and Hornswoggle one time. And I'm like, this is kind of like the movie Freaks. Like you got this beautiful blonde, and not that Colin and Hornswoggle are freaks, but like, she's riding around with these guys and she's like, Barbie incarnate. But I guess if you're a girl named Tiffany, you got to be blonde and buxom.
Yeah, and I'm guessing she's still out there someplace. She's not doing wrestling. I know she went into like after the Diva Search and then coming back a little bit for them. She went into stunt work after she worked obviously TNA, and that's where she actually got some real solid matches under her belt and made her name a little bit doing some of those. She did like hardcore matches that were like, a surprise for someone who like probably all they needed to do is pose to get a contract with most of these companies. But she went out and did some crazy matches, and made a name that way,
She was just a method actress. She'd just break a nail and then just go into a rage.
I was gonna say, but she ended up going to do stunt work in Hollywood.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if she's still doing that or not. I know she got married and has kids now or something, but I thought every once in a while I'll do a look up on her because she was like, I just can't forget, talking about Saran wrap with her. So,
oh man, she was on weekly, like for a month and a half.
She was our choice. She was our choice.
Yeah.
And no one stopped her. It's like, no one's, I remember emailing her. It's like, no one's asking you not to do this. She's like, nope, we're just trying to get votes. I said, okay, you're welcome every week.
Oh, man. And then she gave us the instructions on eating crawfish. It's like suck the head and eat the tail or something like that.
Got that someplace. Maybe I can find that and play that. Yeah,
that was a great rejoiner. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's some fond memories. Yeah. That was the cool stuff is when, I think, if you want to like talk a little bit about the history of the show, I think the first WWE guy we ever really had on was D'Lo Brown.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And what happened was Mad Dog I don't know how he got it because I know how hard these dudes are to get anyone's number, but he got their hotel room when they were on a house show run in Detroit. And that's where we talked to him from. So, and he was a really, really nice guy. So it's like right before all his whole career went to hell. So, or whatever, the bad stuff.
Well, he had the misfortune of that Droz match, but it's so funny because like they tied him so tight to Droz, but like a very similar and I don't think it should have happened either. You remember with Edge and the Bariqua, and he did the over the top deal and he broke the kid's neck and he never wrestled again. But like I don't feel like either of them should get that much flack over it because it's a contact sport. But like you always hear about D'Lo and the Droz thing, and Droz was even like, no, it's fine. But you never heard about Edge and that Bariqua dude.
That's true. Or there's also Marty Jannetty. Didn't he hurt somebody too in a match?
Oh yeah. No, there's and he won a lawsuit. Like he, I feel like that was on one of those dark sides of the ring where that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah. Well, I just don't go bowling with Marty because like, didn't he find a dead body behind a bowling alley or something?
I don't, Marty. A funny story about him. The closest he's ever come onto the show is when we contacted him, and he goes, "If you send me calling cards, I will come on your show."
It's like that thing back before ice was ice. Like you'd go into Walmart and there'd be a big sign like, "If somebody contacts you from Ice asking for $600 worth of Cheesecake Factory gift cards, do not send it to them." It's like, oh, the government isn't leaving my illegal relative if I pay him with Cheesecake Factory tickets. That's not happening. That seems so rational,
It's so funny. I hate to say, but I met someone on a dating website who asked me to send them, "Oh, I'm going to Walmart. I need cards to buy something." It's like, "Yep, see you later." It's like,
yeah. No, I can't. It's like, it was always like that thing. Like you'd get stopped downtown near Pizza Craft and that stuff, and the old Y, like
Yeah.
the homeless would stop you. They'd be, would you bless me with a meal? And I remember my dad, he was very pragmatic, like practical guy. So every month on the first of the month, wake up, it's the first of the month. He'd buy me crates of like chicken noodle soup and pork and beans. And he's like, man, you'll never go hungry. And I'm like, thanks, Dad. That means a lot. So, anyways, this guy comes up to me. There was a Speedway that was a Hess, that was a Speedway, Finkel's Einhorn. But, anyways, he comes up to me and he goes, will you bless me with a meal? And I go, yeah, follow me. And I got him 2 cans of soup. And he goes, I don't have anything to cook these with. I go, I like them cold. And like I got in my car and left. So it's just, will you bless me with a meal? It's like,
It kind of reminds me time I had like a pocket full of ones and a 5, and this guy comes up to me and he goes, hey, can you bless me with something? And I'm going, please God, let me pull a 1 out of my pocket. And what came out was the 5.
Oh,
and the worst thing was, he goes, is that all you got? It's like, well, screw you, you know?
It's just, yeah, God bless. Well, I got in the habit. Where I worked for 7 years or almost 8 was like homeless central. God rest ye, Sister Grace. She would always, like, knew her because she was always down there helping the homeless. And I would see them coming, and before they could ask me, I go, hey brother, do you got $1? And they'd go, no, I don't. And they'd walk away. Like it was just this, these aren't the droids you're looking for sort of thing.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I don't think I would even reach for anything if someone asked me, but I just happened to be in the right mood when the 5 came out, and it was like, oh, you know, it's like, and I really do feel sorry for like the guys that stand along the expressway and ask for things. I really do. I just never have anything at hand. You know, I got a couple quarters in my freaking change dish in my car. That's about it, you know?
Well, I ran out of gas the other day, and I'm not afraid to put them on blast because I don't think either of them are a sponsor unless they are. And in that case, send us money.
Sponsors here.
The sponsor is Tara the dog.
Yeah.
But cousin of Barf. Do you hear they're gonna have a CGI Barf in the new Spaceballs?
Oh, I thought that John Candy's son was going to do it.
Oh, maybe he is. Because like at one point I heard that, and I'm like, meh. Because there was like a CGI Dr. Loomis in the Halloween remake. Anyways, so I ran out of gas, sitting behind Starbucks, just like going through my phone and answering texts. And Starbucks is fine. They're not the person I'm upset with. So anyways, I called AAA. I'm like, I need some gas. And they're like, okay, well, we'll deliver it, but you got to have $5. I'm like, ma'am, I left the house hastily in a hurry, and now I don't have $5. I'm telling you right now, if the guy comes in, I don't have $5. So then I called Geico because I had roadside assistance through them as well. But I hear like they can call that a claim if they want. So I didn't want that smoke, to quote Montez Ford. But anyways, I call them and they're like, oh yeah, we'll be there. And they wanted money for this gas. And it's like, who do you know that's carrying money? It's just nobody. Like when nobody carries money and nobody answers their phone. You're getting a text or you're getting a credit card. And sometimes you get texted asking for a credit card. And in that case, you say no because they're just trying to get you Walmart gift cards to pay their family to get them away from ICE. But yeah, who carries cash? Like, I thought you were going to say I accidentally pulled out my birth certificate and the guy like ran away with, oh, no, not again.
Yeah, I'm a new person.
I'm a brand new man.
All right. No, you know, it's nobody carries money. That's the whole thing. And it's like, so why I see these people and it's like, should I put like some freeze dried, you know, meals in my front seat just in case? And it's like, you know, they want the money, but obviously they're saying they're hungry. So it's like, I don't know. Those people, I think, make some money. I don't know. I mean,
well, in the last 5 years, it's like every ramp in the city and out in Henrietta too, like back to your old stomping grounds, like heading out to Rush, like there's one on every post. And by one, I mean like a guy asking you for money. And I know times are tough, but holy cow, you know, there's got to be a better way than like, because again, one time a guy cornered me. I'm like, oh, you take credit card? And he like had Square on his phone. I'm like, get away from me. But
yeah, that's what I'm worried is now people will do Square and stuff.
So. Yeah, it's like, oh, could you put an extra 4 on there because I get a service charge? It's like, okay, you homeless guy. But,
so let's talk about some wrestling. Okay.
Yeah, this is a novel concept.
So this week today is AEW's Full Gear pay-per-view. And an hour before that, they're having a 1, 2, 3, 4 matches on a special, even though they had Collision on Wednesday after Dynamite. They're having Collision again on was it TBS? It's TBS from 7 o'clock tonight to 8, and you're gonna have a bunch of matches. You get Eddie Kingston and Hook versus the Workhorsemen. Big Boom AJ and I don't even want to talk about it. QT Marshall versus Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero.
Do you listen to, probably not because you're probably at your job by that time. The guy McLovin that used to be on Dan Patrick, him and that Maggie have a morning show now on CBS. Yeah. And yesterday I'm like, because Tony Khan famously was just on Ariel Helwani, and it was like Mondami and Trump. They were like getting along and having a good time, but it was still like, what the heck is this? But anyway, so Big Boom AJ was going to be on this morning show, and I think it used to be Taz's morning show. It's that slot where it's been 800 different things, and they're carrying on, and like one of them was way into these shorts, and like if you watch them, it's like, I got a yummy dummy cookie bookie, and it's like he's just talking like Dr. Seuss or something. And Don and Marcos ring crew used to like run into that guy in the Northeast, and they worked him, and he was always like, okay, I'm going to double power bomb you guys through a table. And it's just, I'm not a big Boom AJ fan.
Yeah, and me neither. And it just, he got lucky. I mean, with the whole, big double, whatever cookie, something or another, I mean, it's like, I was kind of I loved it when his kid got hit by, Trent Beretta.
That was great. He played like he either played dead or he got knocked dead, but that was like, yeah. So I haven't been so happy to see a kid get hit like that since that one time that one was crying on that 8-hour plane flight I was on. But it was his mother. It was his. It wasn't me.
He was quiet. Okay, no. So we also got QT, who was the man who lost to Big Boom AJ, is now tagging with him against Beretta and Rocky Romero. This is all on the pre-show to the pay-per-view, the Tailgate Brawl. Yeah. We've got Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. Don't call them the Acclaimed versus Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn versus Big Bill, Brian Keith versus the Outrunners, which the Outrunners, I love them. They're now teaming up with our friend. Who, I mean, I don't know. He's not really my friend, but he's a Rochesterian. So he's definitely your friend though.
Oh, Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle.
These guys fit with them very well. I will say that. If you had to get rid of the boys and replace them with somebody, Outrunners were the perfect people.
Yeah, no, it reminds you of like 80s guys waiting for the 80s. Like, they just should all be in Miami Beach wearing loose open shirts or something.
Or doing Macho Man impressions, with the tassels hanging down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And ODB was looking to make a comeback. Did you see that? She's looking to have one more run.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I texted Dalton. I'm like, there should be a thing where she's your cousin, and you're annoyed by her, but she keeps helping you win matches. And one day you find her cooking peacock in her beef truck, and you get mad and you fire. And he goes, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm not going to condone eating peacock." I'm like, "Whoa, brother. Well, I'm just trying to get ODB some work here, but
Yeah, ODB's awesome, by the way. ODB in a food truck. So,
oh yeah, meet and greet. But no, those outrun it. Well, is this that one? I got a gripe.
It's for $200,000, the winner. Yeah,
but then there's one on the main show for $1 million.
Yeah, that's the one with what the heck do they call that?
The box and Josh Alexander.
The Casino Gauntlet. I think that's not it, is it?
No, I think it's the Bucks and Josh Alexander versus whomever. But didn't we just watch the Young Bucks have and this is and I'm not mad at it being Memphis, but like that whole, this is for I think Jim Cornette told a story about like Tim Horner taking the giant Price is Right check to the bank and actually cashing it, because the yokels at the counter were like, "Oh, this is rational. Let me sign your linoleum check."
Sign it with a Sharpie,
Yeah, exactly. For the touch-a-thon, which is something that used to happen in this bathhouse. No, it was something about a car. You kept your hand on the car.
Yeah. Marketplace Mall, which is no longer a mall apparently. So
no roads lead to Marketplace Mall. It's now not a mall.
It's not a mall. I don't know what it is anymore. There's closing everything, but No, yeah, I definitely. It's so you have a beef with all these money matches, huh?
Well, yeah, I think it should be special. I mean, like, and why not with Tony Khan? Why not make it 5 million? Because it's like,
Yeah,
I don't, I don't think
dad
we're
owns
under
a
the.
football team. Come on, you can do
Yeah,
better
you,
than that.
you can get a minority stake of the Jaguars. I just think like when there's so many just random, okay, 200,000, 1,750,000, whatever. But yeah, either keep them special or make it like, why don't you're so into synergy? Why don't they get Mr. Beef in there to like, isn't he the one that's always like, hey, if you
I'll
hang
give
from
you
this,
$1 million. Yeah, Mr. Beast. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, why not get that guy in the mix? But I don't know. Hopefully the Outrunners win $200,000.
Yeah, so the 200,000's on the undercard. They can't they obviously have to top it by 1 million on the regular card. So there's one other match on the undercard, and that's Takashita Okada and Henshiro versus Mascara Dorado, Mystico, and Neon, who I don't even know who that is, but
Neon. Yeah, I don't know. This like talk about a match you got to watch out for ice. Like this is
the CMLL trios titles. That's what they're
yeah.
fighting for. So
This match is like an eye chart. It's like Hechicero, Takashita. Holy brother. Yeah. What is this? Does A? Oh, it's the CMLL trios.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay. Well, I don't even. Takeshita and Hechicero are a team.
Hechicero, Takeshita, and Okada. They're the trio. So
Oh, because you got the
they're,
reluctant.
they're just building up the Okada Takeshita, fall apart. It's going to happen eventually,
Yeah,
They've
where
been
he just.
teasing for about 6 months now.
Yeah, it's always like you'll see. It'll be like the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. They'll be in the back, and Takeshita will have a rock fall on his head, and Okada will go, "No, bitch."
Find out it was it was someone from WWE did it. No, so we all right, let's jump into the regular card real quick. We've got there's it's a 4-way tag. The winners get the AEW Women's Tag Title. Wait a second. I got to read this again. The winning team earns the right to pick the stipulation of their AEW Women's Tag Team Title Tournament semifinal match. Whatever. Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa, of course, my favorite team. Who can't love Mina Shirakawa? She is.
She's very sassy. She's
I
very
like her.
sassy.
I like her a lot.
Yeah.
Megan Bain and Marina Shafir. It's interesting whenever Marina Shafir and her husband are on opposite sides, and they see how they deal with each other out there.
Yeah.
Body there because but Marina Shafir is a much better wrestler than when she came to AEW, so I'll give her a lot of credit. And Megan Bain is a goddess. So
Oh yeah.
Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, who I have affection for both or could, I'm just saying that, but and Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Sky Blue, the grossest ugly cuts I've ever seen in my
Oh.
yeah. From yeah, from the second they came in the ring, it was like blood.
Well, and it's almost like the mass transit incident. It feels like somebody told Sky Blue, like, okay, we'll take care of you. And she's like, okay. And they're just gouging her or something.
When Mina Shirakawa got stomped by Marina Shafir with her foot full of glass in the middle of her chest, it was like there was that blood and guts was something, that's for sure. What'd you think of that?
And it's like immediately like you can get on your high horse and go, oh, this is women, this is so unsightly. But no, it was good, and they were all game for it. But yeah, it was bloody, and some of those girls are like 22, so hopefully they weren't hoping to be like Boscov's models when they get older or something, because they'll still be cute, but they'll have these giant like there were these women that went through back in the day, like Sherry Martel, who I don't think ever like bled even accidentally. And I might be wrong. Somebody's gonna now find a thing of her in Memphis, bleeding like a stuck pig. But it's something else when you first see it. You're like a little unsettled, but they went for it, man. And I think like Julia Hart, being a former dark priestess, should have like done a big pentagram in the middle, like serpent in the sun, and just like had some snakes come out of the mat or something. That would have been something. But
That would have been pretty cool. But I think Sky Blue just bleeding from the second they came out, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then lasted, what was it, 45 minutes in that match, something like that. It went a long time, man. It was like you have two of those on TV. They're,
Oif.
they're going to go an hour at least. So it was, I mean, it took 45 before everyone got in the ring. So it was like, yeah,
Well,
it was.
they should do like a Peaches thing, like with Raven and Sandman's wife. Like Nick Gage should now be in charge of Sky Blue, and he just cuts her with a pizza cutter every week or something.
I still have the video on some of my phone of Nick Gage using a pizza cutter, and then them going to picture in picture with the Domino's commercial.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
two pizzas for $6.
As he's cutting in someone's forehead at the same time. So let me get through this. We got okay. So I didn't want to mention, and I didn't bring it up, and I don't want to stop in the middle of this. I'll come back to it, but Dolph Ziggler's reappearance and also Matt Cardona. So, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But so we got Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly, no holds barred match. Moxley's been making Kyle O'Reilly look good. So kudos to them. That'll be a fun match. Darby Allin versus Pac. Pac, let's see if Pac can make it through a match without getting injured.
Yeah, good luck.
Kenny Omega, Jack Perry, Luchasaurus versus Nick and Matt Jackson and Josh Alexander in a trios match for $1 million.
So do they got to split that three ways? Is it like 333,033 cents, and then one guy gets an extra penny?
Yeah, but I mean, some guys could like, I'm done now with the company. I've get this much money. I've worked 6 years for it and didn't get anywhere close to that.
Yeah, that'd be Luchasaurus. Like, does Don Callis somehow get a cut of that? Like, I feel like.
Oh, I'm sure that might cause problems with him. So I wouldn't be surprised, definitely. So
good thing it wasn't the Don Callis family in a match for $1 million, or everybody would have got $12.
So this is this is an interesting match. The next one is Casino Gauntlet. And that's where the people enter. It's kind of like a Royal Rumble, kind of. They come in, but the first two people are Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. So they have to wrestle each other. So we'll see how that. It's obviously a gauntlet. So the pin, and then the next person comes in. So there's Lashley pin Benjamin. There's Benjamin pin Lashley. I guess that's gonna maybe start the cracks in the armor of the Hurt Business. So
I feel like Benjamin needs to be careful because if you remember the last time he was in there with like a big hulking friend of his, it was him and Lesnar in the Royal Rumble, and Lesnar dumped him out. So I think he's got to be a little more cautious this time. And I
agree. And I mean, but Lashley, it's about time they pushed Lashley as a singles. I mean, remember the run he had in TNA? I mean, it was the best thing he ever did in his career. And they tried to duplicate that when he came to WWE, and it just didn't work. Vince McMahon just couldn't get behind how they did it. Jeremy Borash had a lot to do with that, and I know he runs pretty much. I think he runs NXT right now, or he has a lot of say in what goes on in NXT, as well as he has a lot of say when they work with AAA too. He definitely is like the liaison there. So JB is like having a great time in WWE, but I think.
Oh no, sorry. And I think he's kind of like the actual guy with the finger to the pulse, because if you remember back in the day, we'd see him like mixing music before the shows, and it was all like the modern music, and the people TNA would have on would be like Toby Keith, which was pretty typecast to like boomers or whatever. But no offense, God rest you, Toby Keith. But I think JB has some good sense when it comes to continuity and long-term stuff, and the little zazz and pizzazz that you need to make something go.
He definitely had a less is more attitude when Bobby Lashley was in TNA. I mean, that he just came out and destroyed people, didn't say a word and left. And I think that was a great that was playing up to his strengths. He's an Adonis. His body is like he's the peak male, gigantic, strong, muscular. I mean, he's the prototypical Vince McMahon guy.
Well, and that's the thing too with the less being more is just having him kill people, and if you're still gonna have MVP, you're gonna have somebody different in there speaking for him, because he sounds like Wayne Brady. Like when he talks, he's like, it's a bit like, oh, that doesn't match that body, but it's like the Mike Tyson thing without all the. If you'd hear Mike Tyson, you'd think the guy ate a thesaurus. He's like, it's inexplicable, it's innumerable, and you didn't get that from Bobby, but he did sort of. Hi, I'm Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, Oh, I get that completely. So yeah, and so JB was right on the pulse of knowing what this guy, how to make this guy highlight him, and that's what he did. So hopefully we'll see what happens with this. This gauntlet match for the first AEW national champion, which I don't know. I'm giving up.
Oh,
I'm giving up on the titles. You know, it's like there's too many of them.
dude, I almost feel like those guys walk in the door and there's a giant like thing like at a deli where they just pull a belt out and give it. Oh, here's your belt.
Like
Yeah, you get a belt. They
Oprah.
need Oprah, the Oprah crossover. You get a belt, and you get a belt, and
Everybody in the front row, look under
well,
your.
and yeah, exactly. If you reach under your seats, you'll find 7 belts. And I know it's a whole topic, and you guys probably already talked about it, but like this Monet thing with her 17 belts, and now she's like the TV champ on Ring. Like, at some point, it's diminishing returns where you're like, you have this big belt, and you're like fighting for like the Nathan's hot dog eating championship or something, like just to have a belt. And yeah, exactly. Boy, you're never gonna get mistaken for kissing Monet in a picture. You ever seen her rule where she stands like 4 feet behind you? Like, you take a selfie and she doesn't even get near you. Like, she's like very much with the unwashed masses of like, don't get near me.
Well, and she learned her lesson probably from something that happened. I'm gonna move on. Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe for the TNT Championship. Brett Briscoe must join Don Callis family if he loses. Okay. Brody King and Bandito versus FTR for the AEW tag titles. That'll be a great match. I mean, those guys, I mean, FTR are incredible, you know, and it's like, even if they're bad, I don't care. I like them. So
Oh yeah, they make it go. I mean, they're like kind of the brain busters of that
yeah,
whole federation. So
they're definitely, you know, and they come out and they badmouth all the stuff that they support, you know, like,
yeah. I think just to touch on it in one line, like I think it'd be funny if Briscoe has to join Don Callis' family. It's like Andy Kaufman's kids that he got down at work ready. You know, it's like, this is my son, and it's like he's way too old to be Don Callis' son. He's like, oh, so he's part of my family.
first thing we're doing is taking you to a dentist. Okay.
Yeah, he comes out with a flipper like Mick Foley when he became Corporate Foley.
All right, we got Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Monet for the AEW Women's Championship. I don't think it'll be a belt that Monet collects this time, you know, having 13 or whatever it is right now. But I don't know. Chris Statlander needs a little bit of a run. Chris Statlander, apparently Statlander has a part in the new Avengers Doomsday movie that they're making.
Oh wow!
I did not know exactly what it is, but I saw that Statlander was on set or whatever. So interesting. And I mean, Monet is going to win the title eventually, but it's like I think you got to get rid of the 13 belts before you do that. You know, you got to be
I
like not focusing on that. You know,
I feel like somebody should beat Monet, and like, oh no, you actually won all these belts, and they're just handing them out in catering. Like,
yeah.
again, like
You're going to have to go defend these and these little wrestling organizations.
yeah, and then you see like Abaddon in Poland just confused, wearing a furry coat. You know, like, what am I doing here? She's got to go defend it.
I don't think she's with him anymore, but I think that that would be
Abaddon died.
No. I think she's not with AEW.
Oh, I thought you said she's not with us anymore.
Oh no. No.
Okay,
She
well,
actually
no.
was very pretty when not dressed up to look like a monster. So
I think she like put out just a bikini pic recently.
yeah. That's what I say. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we got Hangman. We got Hangman versus Samoa Joe. This is a rematch from the last pay-per-view. It's in a steel cage match. I just saw Hangman won last time and then got the hell beat out of him by all of Samoa Joe's dudes. And so this will stop, Hangman will win again, and this will stop him from getting beat the hell out of by also Samoa Joe's dudes again after the match. Either that or maybe he'll staple something through his cheek or something. I don't know.
And that'd be something. I feel like Joe like doesn't suffer that. He's like, don't bring your dental equipment in here. This isn't you and Swerve, but I feel like Hangman should they should find a crayon stuck in his brain, and then he's just some guy in the back that wants to hang. I was like, hey, you want to hang, man? Like, just instead of being the Texas Hangman,
he's just the dude.
Yeah, he just wants to do his thing. That match was good. That was a pretty good match. I mean, sometimes depending on the order, like you can really be kind of burned out on an AEW pay-per-view, but that first one was good.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the main event tonight. So kudos to that. I'm going to run through some news and then, oh yeah. So, before we get too far, I did want to bring up also, the return of Dolph Ziggler
Oh yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
Monday Night Raw. He's the mystery guy. There's apparently another mystery guy now because Sheamus is hurt and he was supposed to go on to the next round. So they'll have another mystery guy this week. I think, they're using that as a tease to get people to watch, because they always they're people in John Cena's history that are the ones that are showing up as the mystery people. Like we had last week, we had Zack Ryder
Yeah.
at Cardona, and now we have Nick Nemeth or is Dolph Ziggler, and both of course both of them lost in this tournament, but they do have strong ties to John Cena's run in WWE. So who could be the next mystery guy? And what'd you think about Ziggler? I mean, the worst part is he lost, but it's like
Yeah.
none of those guys are winning. It's like
Ziggler, I think he was one of those guys, and he's pretty good at breaking, like sort of knowing what he does wrong and knowing what he does right. If you ever hear him do one of these like interview shows, but he's eminently poppable, especially since like he's been away. He's got it. I'm here, like he's got the music. He comes out, he does his thing. I remember that night after WrestleMania. I think he was still with Big E and AJ Lee, and people went bananas. I think he's just naturally set up for that. Him more so, and I understand with Zack Ryder and the whole like pushing him off the stage and all that stuff back in the day. And I don't know if if there is a distinct TKO crowd, I don't think they're going to indie shows. It's cool, but I feel like it's like, oh, here's John Cena's mom, but then here's his first grade teacher. It's just like kind of like worlds apart between Ziggler and Ryder. But I mean, I'd honestly, and I know he's like got a real job now and his son's in the system and everything. I'd rather seen Bull Buchanan to tell you the truth, but that would have probably missed on like the younger. I don't know. They watch the network.
be squared, man.
Yeah, he could come out like as a 56-year-old rapper, like, you forgot the culture, John, and then just like, my name's Bull Buchanan, and I'm here to say, just do like a really old school rap.
He did it once, so I mean that was a while ago, but he did do that. They did have a reset, and he ended up getting a work for a couple of weeks with them. So it's a good question. So there's somebody who's in John's history. Maybe it's The Rock. Who knows? I mean, I don't think so, but I mean, John Cena's last match is coming up. There's been rumors before even when he announced his last year, it's like, well, they're going to finish him off with Gunther,
Mhm.
Saturday night's main event. And it's like, well, now, I mean, because those rumors were out there and it only seems like that's the plot to how this is going to end. I, I don't care. I mean, John Cena, he's got to lose that belt. So, and he's got a month, he does have the Intercontinental title. So,
Well, yeah, and that's one thing you could step on a banana peel because that makes it a little clunkier, and I think it's reminiscent of Sting. Like, not that they're going for that, but Sting being the tag champ at the end in AEW.
yeah.
But it's tough because like you'll listen to anybody online or you'll even listen to friends, and they'll be like, and I know like the contracts don't match up and stuff, but it's like, oh, Jericho. So if say like the last match was Jericho or Edge, it's like reminiscent of the streak. The Undertaker's like, well, the only guy that really would have beat me around here is Lesnar. It's like, so some young 55-year-old Jericho is going to get the rub by beating you in your last match,
Yeah.
or you're beating them and walking off. Like, no, I think it's definitely like Gunther or below. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, because you figure he's not even like a baby. Like, he was over in the Great Britain and he was not part of that WWE UK for a while.
Yep.
So
Walter.
yeah, Walter, yeah. So but it'll be interesting. I mean, we got, as of the time of this recording, we got 21. Well, it'd be tonight. It'd be 3 weeks, right?
Yeah. You're correct. You're correct. Yeah, and they apparently John Cena, they made an announcement he had 2 appearances left, but apparently he's going to be on this week's NXT show. I think they recorded this week's NXT from the Felt Forum or whatever they call it in Madison Square Gardens, the the smaller arena that's part of it's underneath Madison Square Gardens, the ones that they had NXT from last week.
You know what's crazy is I dated a girl and she had an art show at the Mag and it was called the Felt Forum and it was all this artwork done out of felt.
Really?
It was, I'm probably making that up, but wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, so I think it's, I don't know what they call it, but whatever it is, they taped 2 shows there last week, NXT, because obviously they can't put them in Madison Square Gardens because it's like I don't think they would draw that well. But
Well, they've always got that secondary theater there. Like that was the thing back with the closed circuit and all that. You know, it was all that other room.
yeah, the runoff from the first WrestleMania was that a lot of people watched it in that room. So much like the auditorium theater here in town, that's where they showed it. So
yeah,
first WrestleMania. So, but yeah, that so John Cena's got one additional appearance, which will probably be this Tuesday's NXT, and then you get him one last time, and apparently there's a lot of rumors that the commander in chief of the USA, the orange guy, might be there, as well as possibly the man who was fired, I guess, Vince McMahon. There's a lot of rumors that he may be there as well.
they're gonna. You know, it's yeah, it is in DC. And it's funny because AEW tonight is brought to you by DC, and then we have our DC, who's conspicuous by his accent. But anyways,
it's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, DC! We'll all get together and eat a Fudgy the Whale sometime.
I have to drive down to North Carolina for that, but
well, I'm not allowed there anymore. It's a long story.
Gotcha.
But, anyways, yeah, that would be. Well, he wouldn't be sitting front row because, like, and I'm stating, like, I don't think that would be like the wisest security move. And I know they do it at the UFC and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe him and Zohan Mandami will be there now.
Yeah, I know now that they're best friends, and I saw the picture. So
yeah,
I don't know, but that's right now just rumors. I have a feeling that, you know, obviously the arena that they're building on the White House grounds will not be ready in time for John Cena's kickoff. So, you know,
they should make him have a ballroom blitz, and then just.
I believe that it might be done by January 6th. They'll have a big January 6th celebration on the White House grounds. No.
That'll also be a blitz, just people climbing walls and everything else.
We don't want it. So no, it's all jokes, guys. It's all jokes. I know there's a lot of people in the chat room here. And by the way, a lot of people are saying hi, Pat. It's like, hey, I remember when you guys were on the air. Yay, Dr. Love. And thank you guys for being in the chat room in there and everything and putting up with us reminiscing about so many things, you know, but it's a lot of fun.
A lot of memories.
Definitely. So let me see I'm trying to think. Did I get everything I wanted to talk about before we go to the news? Because I always do the news segment last. So that's it. We just finished Full Gear. That is tonight. We talked about Dolph Ziggler, John Cena. So let me get into some of the news and then we'll get out of here. And I appreciate everyone sticking with us. For Wednesday, if you're going to watch AEW Dynamite, they have right now the teases. The Continental Classic Tournament begins. Okay. And the fallout from AEW Full Gear. So it will be live from Nashville, Tennessee, at the Pinnacle. And it will be on Wednesday. So if you're going to watch, so you don't have to worry about having turkey and watching AEW Dynamite at the same time.
Yeah, no, that's not advised. You know,
there's NFL on Thursday night, right? You know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, and it reminds me of the SmackDown we had where it was on Thanksgiving-ish week, and Bubba Ray Dudley hit a person in the face with an entire turkey.
It aired on Thanksgiving. I remember it was like taped like the Tuesday before or something, and then it aired on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and I've probably told this story before, but I don't think I've been on in 5 years. But like me and my brother were behind Lawler, and excuse me, I get choked up when I talk about Thanksgiving SmackDown. We were behind Lawler and Ross, and they moved us because they put Moolah and Mae Young dressed as pilgrim women behind them. Do you remember this?
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, but we got put on the corner of the ring, and like you know, the Brood gang or Gangrel spit blood all over the place, and Grandmaster Sexy took our sign. But SmackDown wasn't even on. Like they piped it on channel 98. You remember when they would do that?
Yeah, because it didn't have a place to air on in Rochester.
Yeah, because like UPN had like Platypus Man or something on, or Homeboys in Outer Space or whatever it was.
Some
Yeah,
terrible show. Yeah.
some awful show. Like God, good Lord, that was a horrible network. But yeah, so no AEW football. Well, you got to get your foot. There's a Black Friday game too in the
Yeah.
NFL.
Yeah, there's football. So we get football for 3 days, and I've given up on the season already. By the way, I'm just going to tell you that my team, the Commanders, are destined to wait for next year. We'll say, and the Bills, I don't know about them, man. They look good one week and then they don't. If you rush the quarterback, that's the way to get them, I guess. Because
like it with Josh, he got sacked 7 times. And he either like happy feeted around or he just accepted his fate and went, "Oh Lord," and like went into 4 guys sacking him.
it happened a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that was rough. But no, that's the thing is Daniels, they're just gonna keep till the end of the year. Oh, he might. Daniels is done. Like they're, and it's so funny because the guy that was outspoken about that was RG3, who's got complete perspective on getting injured. And some and some crap,
and then coming back and playing injured, and then getting worse injured. Yeah.
We just gotta hope for a good rest of the season for big beautiful Bill McCroskey. What's his face? The running back.
Oh yeah, Bill. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, can hope for him. But so there will be. So just a reminder once again, Dynamite will be on Wednesday. I want to throw that out there. If you're going to watch Raw this Monday, it's going to be at the Paycom Arena, and apparently Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar will be appearing on Monday Night Raw.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I did bring up a piece of news. Shane McMahon was at Monday Night Raw, did not get shown on the camera. He was he was in the back of the section too. It wasn't even like he was in ringside or anything. He was.
Yeah, it's like he's photobound. But do you think like then there's also this whole thing with Shapiro with his multiple interviews nobody was looking for, where he's like, "Yeah, we got to distance ourselves from Vince McMahon." It's like, how's Stephanie A different than Shane? Because Shane was the one that broke away from Vince. Like Shane was the renegade that went off and did his own. Like, wasn't he like selling soybeans in China or something?
He was doing something. He had a business, definitely. He was like CEOing a business in China. He did. It's interesting because Shane, remember Shane kind of the last time he worked in WWE, his dad kind of like said, "You're done. Get out of here. I can't." Because he had the way he had booked his booking of the Royal Rumble, which
he's like, "I'm gonna."
We won the last 4 guys. It's like Shane McMahon.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna pick up Brock like a basketball and throw him out, and then I'm gonna go and tickle Bill Goldberg and whatever.
The funny thing is Vince like I guess he pitched it to Vince, and Vince said, "Get out of here, you're done." So it's like thank God we didn't get his idea.
That's got to be a conversation where it's you got to hear me out. Hear me out. It's like, oh, no, dude, get out of here. Like,
you know what? If he's gonna book one, let him book it over in Saudi Arabia. Okay, that's this year.
I just imagine Vince being like Uncle Phil on The Fresh Prince when he would throw Jazzy Jeff out the front door. He's just like, get out of here, Shane. And then you just hear a loud scream like when Nails. Oh no, I got to quit bringing up Nails and Vince.
Yeah. There's some other things with Vince, nevertheless, if we see him, I think that'd be quite a miracle. So, I mean, I don't think we'd see him. First of all, he might be there. I don't think we'd see him.
Well, it's just kind of like you got to pull off that Band-Aid. It's like, and I know, I don't know. I think you just got to be done with Vince. But
yeah, I mean, the bad thing is the dude will never go into the Hall of Fame now, and he should have gone when he was running the company. He deserves to be in there. I mean, there's reasons he shouldn't be in there, but there's O.J. Simpson's in the NFL Hall of Fame. Okay,
right.
And so. So I'm just saying that, but it's like now after all these things, I don't think he should be there. Maxine Dupree. I'm sorry. I'm watching Raw from last week while we're doing the show.
Oh yeah. Wow. She won the big belt, right?
She beat the women's intercontinental belt, the brand new belt that Becky Lynch has had.
Yeah.
But Maxine Dupree, she used to be a cheerleader with I can't remember
Rams.
The Rams. Yeah. Yeah, she's like a kid too, man. She's very young. So, speaking of kids, WWE couples looking ahead to getting major milestone. Carmelo Hayes and Kalani Jordan have loose timetables for their upcoming wedding. Apparently, they're getting married. So I didn't realize that
Oh,
Kalani Jordan just dropped the TNA women's title this past week, and now no longer is the women's title holder. Kalani Jordan's gorgeous, and Carmelo
mm.
Hayes is a lucky man. So, but there's
didn't they
sometimes
didn't they dress up as Jeff Hardy and Lita for Halloween? Was that them?
I don't remember. I remember seeing that too. What was maybe it was them, you know? I was like, because those guys have been around too a bit, you know.
Yeah. I remember somebody calling in for their favorite wrestler being Jeff Hardy and crying.
Yeah.
Was that the artiste?
Somebody. Game changing wrestler. Have you ever seen any of the game changer wrestling shows? Have you? I mean, they're
Oh, but Brett Lauderdale's from here. Didn't they run here a couple months ago?
yeah. What back in September? I think it was. No,
Yeah.
October. Yeah, it was not that long ago. But so it's interesting. They have the only reason I bring them up is because they have a show today where they're having TNA Hall of Fame women's wrestler Gail Kim showing them. Gail Kim has been a hot. I mean, besides being obviously a hot woman, she also has been, she's had some online tay-to-tays with other people, including Kenny Omega, as well as people with Game Changer Wrestling. And she's actually going to be on their show tonight to defend herself.
Oh.
And she and Brett had fought because she said that a death match for Game Changer Wrestling was pure garbage or pure trash. That's how she quoted saying. So they're actually bringing her in now to maybe to have a little fight. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what she's gonna do on that show tonight. So
maybe she'll have her husband, Chef Robert Irvine, behind him, and she'll be like, "These death matches aren't safe," and he's like, "You're gonna get somebody sick, like with hepatitis."
I remember so this one big regret is that Robert Irvine was in Victor, New York, and
For what?
he was doing an appearance. I don't know what it was at, but I know JB was with him.
Wow.
Yeah, JB was like he was like, his personal introduction guy. He'd come out and like be the host of the whole event, and it was like, I'm not sure, but I know, but it was like I found out the day of, and I was still working out there in Bushnell's Basin, so it's like, damn, I should
10 years
drive
ago.
down. It was a while, so it's like JB was doing some side work to make some money, and one of them was like he was on tour with him, and the guy was going around, maybe he was selling a book or something, I don't know.
Oh, he's probably at one of the joints at Eastview or something. Like,
yeah, he said it was in Victor. I didn't know exactly where in Victor, but it probably was at Eastview Mall. So
he was probably at the laundromat that I used to go to. It was 24 hours, and you'd go in, and sometimes there'd be a homeless person living in there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Is that you, JB? No. So
he's over in the corner putting together a promo package for what was the drone named Unit 1, Matt Hardy's.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I keep forgetting that he was involved in all that stuff too. Yeah.
Yes.
So Monday night, we mentioned Maxine Dupree won her first ever singles title in WWE, and then she celebrated with the Alpha Academy in the back, and then but the one of the big reasons I guess why she won is AJ Lee came out and stood in her side, and obviously AJ Lee and Becky have issues, and now they're both on this War Games team that they had. Both of them are the 5th members of their War Games team. They announced this past week. So I don't know about AJ Lee. I mean, it was nice. I thought that it was going to be a one and done, but apparently not. Now after showing up this past last night, to get Maxine Dupree, I'm sorry, this past Monday night to get Maxine Dupree over or whatever, she came out and supported her and she won the title. So kudos to her.
It should have been a one, and I'm not hating. It's just like, I feel like, it's like the whole thing where they tried to bring Warrior back during the Attitude Era. I just feel like she's of a certain time, and all of the love comes from being Punk's wife. Like, I don't think it's like the thing Michelle McCool gets knocked for. It's like, oh, Hall of Famer for being the Undertaker's wife. I feel like the same thing applies to AJ Lee.
The interesting thing is they made a big deal about her coming back, and then she came out and was doing the skipping character, even though she's like playing real life Punk's wife.
Yeah.
And she comes out as a skipping character to get to the ring. And I think a lot of people like, said, well, why would do that if that's something you left behind, if you're like, now you're playing a new character, the wife of Punk,
She should have been like pulling her earrings off and been like ready to kill Becky, and she's doing the like,
Yeah, she's
you know,
skipping and
yeah.
and skipping to the ring. I don't know. I that's the only thing I had with her. And she did okay. I mean, it wasn't like, a 5-star match, that's for sure, but
Yeah.
she remembers how to do those things, and they obviously paying her pretty well. So
Well, they should bring back Caitlyn if they're gonna bring her back, just because I like Caitlyn.
and me too. I like Caitlyn too.
I
Uh,
like Lamp.
yeah. AEW is kicking off New Year's 2026 with a residency in the Lone Star State. The Dallas Morning News reported on Monday that AEW is scheduled to return to Texas. It's the first time since they're all in, and it's at the Esports Stadium in Arlington, set to host a residency for the month of January, with four of the month's 5 Saturdays shows of Collision being there, the 3rd, 10th, 24th, and 31st. I'm guessing they're taping them all. I don't know.
I just want to see like Tony Khan get on a mechanical bull and then just he falls off and like has his arm in a sling. And
Neck with that neck brace on.
Yeah, exactly. Or the time he like rolled down the ramp for 45 minutes. Whoa,
I'm coming. It's like Orange Cassidy taught him how to do it or something,
Yeah.
Rolling down the rolling in the hay. All right.
I like I don't. They seem to be pretty well accepted during. Well, I mean, and I'm not going to get into the attendance because, like, how that was a weird building, anyways. Like, I don't know anybody that runs baseball fields except for like the old ballpark brawl, and a lot of that was in the concourse, So I don't know. Hopefully, they do well with it. It seems more like a Texas crowd than WWE, but WWE has the name value, so they could go there and fill the joint. So hopefully AEW has a good.
I mean, WWE's been having some difficult lately selling tickets, obviously with the higher prices, So
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's an excellent point.
I've seen some shots of half-filled arenas, and I have a feeling when they come to Buffalo for the first SmackDown of 2026, it may be a half-filled arena because, man, it's tough. I mean, for the prices they're charging and for the size of the arena, man, it's not worth it. Sit at home and watch it on TV, man.
And honestly, like they'll talk. People will still, the pundits will still, paid versus. Where are you getting comps anymore? Like you don't even see them on like you saw Bianca and Cody and Yeet on the Minute Maid juices. It wasn't even like mail in to attempt to win tickets. They're not giving away tickets on the radio.
Oh, they're not. They're not. In fact, they don't even give comps to wrestlers anymore. That's what I've been hearing is that most wrestlers can't get their family members in and stuff.
Yeah, and that was the one thing you heard for that Arlington where the Rangers play. The house you Darvish built or whatever. You heard about like Lance Cade and Bobby Lashley like at an MMA event handing out tickets, but like I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that. Never mind. I'm just an old man shaking my fist at a cloud.
You're yelling. Just keep shaking your fist, son.
Just keep shaking, boy. Hey, fun boys, get a room.
So we got 2 more pieces and we'll get out of here. WWE Hall of Fame legend Tori Wilson's welcomed the new baby into the world. And you may stop and say, wait a second, Tori's like 50. Well, former WWE women's star surfaced via social media last Sunday evening to write about her new bundle of joy, which she had through surrogacy.
Oh.
So on her official Instagram page, Tori Wilson 50 wrote a brief statement with some photos of her new baby, Poppy Wilson Turner. So congratulations, Tori Wilson.
Yeah, well, and hey, Mae Young had a baby when she was 80. Sure, it was just a hand, but
a hand. It's the only part that grew.
Yeah,
full grown hand.
Somebody could use
a glove on too, I think.
What was that movie, Idle Hands, where the guy got the hand transplant and it took over his body?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Here's one last piece of news, and we want to send our condolences out to the family of Bob Caudle.
Yeah.
Famous NWA announcer. I remember Bob Caudle, so it's like I can do a little bit of an impression. But he passed away at the age of 95. Obviously, old age got him, and it happens to everybody. So, his son did post out about him passing away. I mean, he was on the show briefly. We did one of these NWA get-togethers, reunions, or whatever. And Andrew the Authority Joseph went down there and started talking to everybody who was showing up. And Bob Caudle was on probably for about 30 seconds, but he did make an appearance on this show. So
Bob Caudle is like in another universe could have probably been Gordon Solie. Like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he was known and he did his part and he was very good. But it's just such a gift because, like, you know, and the thing is, like, I know they'll wheel JR out for 2 matches tonight and do whatever they do, and it's, you know, Tony being generous and JR still wanting to be a part of the thing. But like, really, it's like people will say, well, watch wrestling with the sound off, you know, because some people, oh, I'm so sick of the promos and blah blah blah. But you watch it with the sound off; it's a different thing. And like, I don't know if you've seen this. Some kid took the commentary from Hell in a Cell and made it into a folk song.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'll send it to you later. But like, he's literally he's singing this song, and it's like, "Hell's come to Pittsburgh," and blah blah blah. And it's like it's JR's commentary, and he turned it into a folk song, and it's like, holy cow, this really is lyrical, and it takes a special person in Bob Caudle. You know, the WWE Now, Then, and Forever, and it's a great night here in MSG, folks. And you know, just even like, it's an underrated thing that people like to dunk on and clown on because it's like the little Johnny thing. When commentary is bad, it's very, very bad. You know, it's like when it's good, it's awesome. But like, God rest you, Bob Caudle. I know Tony Schiavone looked up to Bob Caudle quite a bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think a lot. I mean, a lot. I mean, he was back in the days when they had, you know, like Mid Atlantic Wrestling had its own TV show, Southwest Wrestling, all these places. Bob Caudle, he was a Mid Atlantic guy, and he was like the voice of Mid Atlantic. He was one of them. Him and Gordon Solie. So,
Yeah,
you know, in Florida wrestling as well. So, you know, yeah, they would definitely send our, you know, best to the family. And that's all the news I've got. So, Murph, it was been enjoyable. I miss you. I haven't seen you in forever.
oh yeah.
And we got to do this more often, brother. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm always here, and I'm always on the line, and it's always great to think back, you know, to those Saturday mornings where we'd have to body slam somebody we didn't love so that all the Bill Grays didn't get eaten before we were there.
Jim Salmon, right?
Oh, well, hey, we'll name names, but
you know, I'm friends with Jim still, you know, even though I don't agree with anything he says. So yeah.
Yeah, God bless America. But no, we really had, and a lot of the guys are in my fantasy league, and we got to do like get together for some pizza or a pay-per-view or something. I watch a lot of them with Marcos from Ring Crew, but we got to get together and have some.
I'll be honest with you. I thought you were coming over today, and because I misinterpreted. But you know, funny thing is, I got dressed and everything. It's like, oh, we'll go out to lunch when we get done. And it's I'm sorry. It's like,
well, no, I would have totally been ready. I just I misread it. No, we'll get some lunch. We'll figure it out here. It's the holiday season officially. We'll go out with striped scarves and Santa hats and just
ring a bell. Maybe someone will give us money, you know?
Yeah, we'll carol afterwards. And I don't know, maybe we'll go over and see Tony at his place and get some pizza or something.
Seriously. Okay, cool. I'd love to, man. Let's plan on it. And we're going to get out of here. I want to thank everybody who's in the chat room. Thank you, Rennie. Appreciate Rennie there. Is Tom and Eugene, all you guys, Chuck and Pat, all these dudes who have been in there today.
Is it Chuck Fantuzzo? Hey, Richie.
No, I don't think it's Chuck Fantuzzo, but I miss Chuck What I was going to do is if you came over, I'm going to take us to Salvatore's for lunch.
Oh man, I totally blew it. Well, yeah. we'll do it. We'll do it.
You didn't blow it. I was over. I was doing house cleaning anyway, so I was like, I was curious because I wanted to try a setup with my phone, and so like I had my other couch set up, and I was gonna have my phone be the camera for this Zoom.
Oh, so, like the eye in the sky.
Yeah, or it was, and so then you and I would be talking, but we'd be talking in the same room, but looking at the cameras. I don't know. I want to try it still sometime. So let's plan on it sometime in the future.
Well, next time I'll just come. It ain't far, for me it's like 20-25 minutes. So
cool. Okay, well, you guys have a great week. Thank you, everybody, and everybody. Body slam someone you love.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, do it at the table through some gravy.